Rhody Foody fam. Oh man. Grab your coffees. Let's have a little coffee. Let's have a little coffee talk. This peanut butter cup one from Dunkin' is insane. So I'm going to preface this video with two things. One, if you work at a place that you absolutely love and they're taking care of you, then this video is not really for you. It's for the rest of us, right? You're blessed. This is for the rest of us that are unblessed. Secondly, I took a good portion of the day to drive around my old jobs just to kind of jot down some notes on, basically your boss is not going to like this video. And I've worked plenty of office jobs that just sucked, but I've also had amazing jobs that couldn't continue because of other reasons. So these are going to be kind of some top 10 reasons why you should quit your job, why you should join the Great Resignation, why, and if you need a little time, that's okay. Start 2022 with a fresh start. So, number one, and these are not in order as far as what's more prevalent. It's just a top 10 list. So one is absolute, you're just dead inside. Loop, what the hell does that mean? I'll tell you what that means. So one of my jobs I had, especially if you have the type of schedule where it's a flex schedule, where you only have, you get 2 days off a week, obviously, but they're separated. You really only get to enjoy the night before your day off, because once you have your day off, you're dreading that you have to go to bed and then go to work the next day. So that's, I wanted to list that one as number one and get that one out of the way, because if you're just feeling deflated, you're feeling dead inside, you're feeling absolute dread to go to work, that's a sign that it's time to go. Okay. And I've had plenty of those where it just switches out your mood and you're just nuts. You're just done. So number two is a big one. And I'm so glad that we live in a time right now where we're starting to talk about it, and that's mental health. So if it's affecting your health, and especially your mental health is what drives everything else, right? If it's affecting your mental health, it's time to go. It's time to go. And I'm talking about if it's, switching your moods, how you're speaking to people, how much toxic environment from the job you're absorbing yourself, then it's time to go. So if you're dreading it, and mental health is a big one. Mental health is something where sometimes you're walking around like a shell of a person. That's not life, guys. We get one shot at this freaking life, and you can't walk around it just absolutely being a zombie. You just can't. Which brings to number three. The third reason why your boss hates this video and why you should quit your job is if you're overworked. We live in a time right now, especially with technology. I can do a whole video on this in itself, and I'm sure there's a lot smarter people that can do it as well. Pay has never really been tied to productivity for a long time. You're going to have these companies that, for whatever reason, either they've lost staff or they're trying to squeeze every ounce out of you. They're making you do the job of like 3 to 5 people, right? And you're constantly, and again, all these are related, guys. If you're overworked, it's going to affect your mental health. You're going to dread going to work. All these, I promise you, are connected. So if you're just being overworked, doing the job of 3 people, 3, 4, 5, 10 people sometimes, then it's time. It's time. They are absolutely taking advantage of you. This is the way that I want you to think about it. Would you take that type of abuse from somebody else, from a stranger? Okay. So If you wouldn't, then why would you take it from a job? Okay. So overworked is going to go right into number 4, which is they're always said together: overworked, underpaid. If you have a type of job, especially if you need to be certified or licensed or any of these, I cannot believe how much some of these nurses are getting paid, even CNAs. If you need I remember back in the day, right? They used to say, "Hey, go get a license, go get certified in something. You will have a career." Something happened in the last 30, 40 years in this country where those things don't even really matter anymore. They're kind of like, well, you need to be born with a license and then we can talk. Okay. And it's like, no. I am certified. I'm licensed. Like this needs to be this pay. And a lot of places get really sneaky. So what they'll do is they'll change your title. So you're no longer, even if you are licensed in something, you're kind of over here so that they can get away with paying you less, but you're doing the job of a licensed person. And it's just, it's crazy what's happening right now out there, guys. It is absolutely nuts. So overworked, underpaid. And the next thing is, especially if you've been at a place that had, 2 or 3 years there, and you're starting to feel that there's zero advancement, either business advancement for yourself, or you're learning new skills, things like that, or if there's zero advancement going on because, 1, so many people are leaving the company, 2, and usually when people are leaving the company, they don't want to pay anybody more to do more. They do these like lateral promotions. I never understood in my mind how you can have a promotion that's lateral. That is highway robbery. So, and nepotism is another thing too. If somebody's nephew or son just graduated, needed a job that could have went to someone that has been working there for so many years, that's another thing too with nepotism. So it's tough, man. It's if you're seeing that there's zero advancement, and after a year or two at a place, you can kind of get a you get that 1,000-mile eye, right? Or that 100-yard eye where you're like, okay, I see what's popping off here. And also there's, and please do the research as well. There is studies done, and where if you actually you lose out on so much money if you don't actually leave a job every 2 years. You're leaving so much money on the table because, a lot of these jobs give 3 to 5% raises. Those are not raises. They need to stop saying that. Those are cost of living adjustments. You're not paying me more. You're just making sure that I get paid the same that you were paying me 5 years ago because of cost of inflation. So whenever you guys get a raise, depending on how stern you are and an advocate for yourself, when they say, hey, you're going to get a 5% raise, be like, oh, cool. So can I get an extra 3% for cost of living adjustment as inflation? And then from there, you'll be able to see kind of what type of place it is. Research it online, guys. If you don't move every 2 years, there's a great TikTok on it too, if you don't have TikTok, where someone explained it perfectly, where you're leaving so much money on the table by not jumping companies. Because trust me, hey, we're a family here, that's not how you treat families. So I don't know how they were raised, man, but when there's zero advancement, what's going to happen is this goes to the next part, number 6, is that they're just going to take. There's going to be zero love. They're just going to take from you. So if you're at a place, and especially if you worked at a place during this the panorama, oh my God, was that a freaking eye opener or what? People were just doing, again, they were just adding more workload, and you're like, hey, where is the extra pesos, right? You're not going to see any. And that's just, it's just sad that they just keep taking. So if you're at a job that just constantly shows you zero love, and I'm not talking about love as in a pizza party and ice cream truck and things like that, which is like, it's got to be some rule book for corporate America somewhere. Best way to show someone you care is by action. And the way that companies can do action is by money. So if there's no, if they take, that's another thing. Number 7 is for folks. When I first started one of my past jobs, the commute is a big thing too, because I remember I was spending about $300 in gas, because I lived so far away from the place. And I remember asking them like, hey, can I just, I would like to talk about possibly working from home. That extra 300, guys, 300, that's $3,600 at the end of the year. And I remember it was considered a privilege to work from home. And it's just so funny how the world works, where now it's like everybody works from home, right? Well, not everybody. Most people that have an office job work from home. But I do realize that they're starting to slowly trying to claw people back in. And you know why? That's because middle management has to justify their job. Because without having the eyes, right, the overlords, middle management doesn't need to be there. It can just literally be project-based manager, and then the projects and the folks handling them. So, commute was a huge thing. And, when the panorama hit, I remember like after a few months, I was like, why do I have like an extra $1,000 in my account? Because I'm a numbers guy. I went through it, and I was like, that's why I was spending so much money on gas. The commute, guess what, guys? It was a 9-to-5 job. Where does the majority of everybody work? 9-to-5 jobs. So, man, and I remember starting to develop a little bit of road rage, and I'm like, this is not me, but maybe it is. And again, mental health. I dreaded getting up and freezing in the morning, and going to a place that I was overworked, underpaid. So all these, again, guys, are connected. Another thing too, kind of going to number 8, is boredom. Are you bored? Are you just absolutely brain dead? Are you not being challenged? And I'm not talking about challenge. So here's the thing. There's 2 different ways to look at being challenged, right? So being challenged is, and I think what some employers probably think is like more workload. No, that's not what it means. It doesn't mean run me into the ground. It means challenge me with the skill sets that I have, besides what's needed for the actual job that can actually help the company as a whole. I know that, and again, this is tough to always use kind of the big tech companies as an example, but I think it's Google, where they allow you so many hours a week to just not work on any work, and you just sit back and just try to brainstorm some really cool creative ideas that can help the company in a really relaxed setting. And I think that's great. I came up with some really good ideas. Some I shared, some I didn't share, because I was like, no, I don't get paid enough for this. But guess what? I would have shared these amazing ideas if we had those times, and if they really treated us like family. And if a job just becomes just absolute, you just feel like a robot and you're saying the same thing, and you go to bed saying a script and you wake up saying a script, and again, you're just brain dead, mental health, drained, dreading it. Another reason to literally, it's time to go. This is where I'm going to kind of pivot a little bit. If another reason why you should quit your job is if maybe you've been working on some sort of side hustle, right? Maybe you've been working on a passion project, something that gets you going in the morning, right? The one thing that I do love, one of the positives that came out of the panorama and kind of 2020 is that people really took a second to pause and realize what was really important in life, right? Hey, what the heck is important in life? Is it this job that I hate and is affecting my mental health? Or is it this over here? And another thing that's really telling, this is a bonus one. This is a bonus one. This is a bonus point. Is if you're willing to get paid less to do something that you love, and it allows you more free time to do all the things that you love to do, that's another reason to leave a job. And maybe your side hustle or your passion project started making a little bit of cash monies. Then you go, hey, how can I put more time and energy into this to blow this up so that I can leave this, right? And I know there's always going to be that time where you're doing both and you're like, I love the money and the benefits over here. Don't get me started on health insurance, but all the bennies over here. But there's going to be a time, which is going to take me to my last point, is that you're going to know when it's time. You're going to feel it in here. You're actually going to look at a calendar sometimes and go, all right, this is the date. And there's going to be times where you're going to sit back and go, man, should I do the adult thing? What am I doing? And then there's other times where you're like, dude, go. What are you doing? And it's one of those things, and it's everything that I've read, and it's you get the courage, and you get that sense of fulfillment, and you get that safety net after you take that scary jump. And I promise you that it's there. You can do with less for a while until your passion project or until you find a job that you love. Again, guys, I want to preface this by saying that this is for people that absolutely hate their job and want to leave. There's more out there in this world. You have to find what makes you happy and make money from it, or find a job that you like and love. Because I know some people that absolutely love their job. They get paid well. Their company culture is on point. They are challenged. They're not dreading going to work. They can work from home. They're not bored. Basically, the anti-list that I have written over here. It's the opposite. They're actually excited to get to work. They're not overworked. So you know when it's time to go. And I hope that moment finds you. I hope that you strive for it. I do want to give a big shout out to T-Dubs, the inspiration behind this video. I kind of wanted to do my own rendition of it. Again, I took some time driving around some of my old jobs, office jobs that I had, and I just wanted to get the juices flowing. But yeah, I'm telling you, man, find something that you love in this world. And that's what's always been preached to us, right? Find something that you love in this world and learn to make money from it and monetize it. Or that famous scene from the Facebook movie where the professor goes, he goes, don't try to get a job, right? Create a job. He's like, do what everybody at Harvard does. They create their own job. Go out there and create your own job. And I'm telling you, if you're hitting just one of these, it's time to go. But if you're hitting more than these 10 points in that bonus one, then it's time to go. And if you're hitting all 10 of them, man, I'm praying for you. Okay, guys? Do me a favor, like, share, comment, and subscribe. I know this video was a little different from my fam out there. I wanted to make it short and sweet. This could be an hour-long video if I wanted it to, but the fulfillment and the happiness and the clarity that I'm feeling right now is absolutely intoxicating and is absolutely mind-blowing. And there's going to be a moment when you're doing this that you're gonna be like, why didn't I do this? It's like when people say, man, if I would have started working out 10 years ago, imagine how buff I would have been. So your mind is gonna go there too. It's gonna be like, oh my God, if I would have started my YouTube channel 10 years ago, where would I be now? If I would have started painting 10 years ago, where would my art be right now? If I would have started woodworking, if I would have started with landscaping, how much staff would I have by now? You can't think that way. Start now. It's amazing once you jump, I promise you. And until next time, guys, just take care of yourself, take care of those around you, and take the leap. All right? You'll know when you know.